All right, let's talk some Tua. Listen, here's the weird thing about Tua. So I have been clearly in the Tua hater camp for a long time, right? I criticized him in literally his first NFL game, even though they won. I've been a very big critic of Tua's game, but I'm a little confused as to why all of a sudden, after these past 2 weeks, everyone is out on Tua, and it makes me wonder if people just keep seeing, oh, Dolphins lost, Tua must suck, he threw a couple picks, like, yeah, get rid of him. I actually think Tua's played pretty solid football. The issues are still the issues. I still feel strongly that I don't think he's a star quarterback, and the ceiling just isn't there, but I do think there is a decent floor. So, let's just get into the film study and let's explain a little bit more about what I think about him. So let's start some stuff off with, let's start off with the negatives and then we'll get into the positives, because I think that's what people want to talk about, is the negatives, then the positives. So to me, this play is the biggest of the negatives. So what's happening right here is that it's going to be zone coverage, and this is something I've talked about a good amount with Tua, but let's just get into it. So it's zone coverage. You have a receiver running a route that could get into this gap in coverage right when this play starts. So Tua runs the play action, and you see right here, it's not wide open, but you can make this throw. There definitely is a perfect throw. You get it there quickly enough before the defensive back can get over and knock the ball away. That can work. Now, one of the issues with Tua that we talk about is, he doesn't have the biggest arm, right? And so watch how when he makes this throw, the defensive back does have time to adjust and knock it away. So had he got it there a little quicker, well, then that's going to be a completion and you get the first down. How do you get it there quicker? Well, if you're Aaron Rodgers, who has a cannon, right, you just throw it through and it works out. Congratulations, good work. If you're not, there is a way to still make it work, but you have to throw it a little bit earlier and you have to make your decisions a little bit earlier. This is the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing, right, where he throws with anticipation and just hopes that these plays are going to work out, and every now and then a defensive back makes a great read and gets the interception, which is kind of why you see so much volatility in Fitzpatrick's game. I think that Tua probably would be benefited by playing that way, which of course is a bit ironic because that's the guy that Miami ran out of town last year. And to me, this play is the most concerning thing about Tua, and it's why I say I don't think he has a high ceiling because of stuff like this. So let's get into some more negatives. So this one, another good example of, one of the things that drives me absolutely crazy. If you've been watching this channel, you know what drives me crazy is pressures and sacks are not just an offensive line stat. They are also a quarterback stat. And this is a great example of the offensive line doing nothing wrong in a play that Tua gets sacked on. So what's going to happen here is that you see that for Atlanta, they're showing as though their linebacker could blitz, right? He's lined up right in front of the center. So for Miami, they're doing the right thing here. They have all 5 of their offensive linemen getting ready to just block the person in front of them. However, watch how when this play continues, another Atlanta player is all of a sudden sort of showing that he's about to blitz right here. Now what do? You're in a tough situation, right? Typically, you could just have a tight end or a halfback go over to block, but the issue with that situation on this play is that, you're in 5 wide and you're about to snap the ball. You don't have time to say, hey, don't snap the ball. You'd get a false start that way. So what do? You're screwed, right? I mean, there's going to be a free rusher. Well, yeah, probably. But that doesn't mean you are screwed. If you notice this, well, typically what they say you want to do is throw it to where the guy is blitzing from. I mean, think about it. Look, Tua takes the snap, and because of, the good concept by Atlanta, which was well done, they disguised it well, good for them, you do have a free rusher, but the player I've circled who came from where that free rusher is now wide open. Why? Because to pull off this disguise, you have to have a player line up over a wide receiver to make this work. So now the safety or just someone further deep has to pick up that player, but he's going to be further away. If Tua makes this throw immediately, you're gaining 6-7 yards. It's a third down and medium. Maybe not the best play in the world, but it's what you should do, and it's certainly better than a sack. Tua is going to take the sack here. He never noticed any of that. So that was a tough play. And Tua's had a bit of issues with this. So, that's something he does have to get better at. It certainly is. Okay, so obviously we now have to talk about this one. This one was just one of the more ugly interceptions you'll see. Just one of the weirder interceptions you'll see. So it's zone coverage they're going up against. And Jalen Waddle, who I thought had a good game, and we'll get into that in sort of the positive part of this video, he's running just a route underneath that's going to, it'll probably get open. Tua takes a snap. His first read is to his left, and he doesn't like what he sees. Don't really know why. Could have made that throw. But he also notices there's pressure and is trying to get out of it. And this just feels a bit like a trying to do too much type play, where he's now going to look over to Waddle. I paused it right here, by the way. That's why it's frozen like this. So he's going to now try to throw it over to Waddle with pressure in his face. And he just tried to do a bit too much here. Like, look, while getting tackled, he still tries to make the throw, and it ends up getting intercepted. Those are never good when they work. People love them when they hit, though. You know, how many times have we seen Brett Favre highlights where he's while going down, throws it up, and it ends up getting caught? Just one of those, you know, similar to like the interception Mahomes made in that Ravens game. It's a very similar thing. Can't do it. It's not good. I mean, if you're going to beat a quarterback who doesn't make these super high-level throws, isn't going to be making these big-time throws very often, what you have to do is you can't turn the ball over. Like, if you're going to be a game manager, then manage the game. And that's just not what Tua has done a good enough job of. So I think those criticisms are fair. However, I stand by, like, something like this is, you know, if we're talking about Tua, what's more interesting to me is not how good is Tua right now, but how good can Tua be? And I think you can probably get some of that stuff out of his game. Now, I don't know how much. Like, it's kind of one of those things that people always say, if you just get rid of the turnovers out of someone's game, then, you know, they'll become a better quarterback. But, like, how often does that actually happen? Basically never. However, for Tua, I've seen him not turn the ball over through stretches before, even in the NFL. So I'm not really as concerned about that. I think the turnovers will probably decline. And when you see stuff like this is legitimately good. So it's going to be man coverage, and you have Jalen Waddle running a good route against this type of coverage. Look, Tua takes the snap, and it is going to get open. It's not wide open, but Tua is still very accurate. That's the one thing he has going for him, and he's on the move right here, which has been one of my other criticisms about him is he struggles throwing on the move. But here he's going to do a pretty good job, and I also should mention he tends to do okay at going on the move when he is throwing with his body. It's usually against his body that he has issues. But look, I mean, Tua is going to push this ball down the field, and he makes the catch, the receiver makes the catch. It's a good throw from Tua. Like, these on-script plays, Tua does a very good job with. Like, he's not Mahomes or Justin Herbert, but he does a great job when stuff is on script. You now have something like this, where what's going to happen here is that it's going to be a very similar type play, and this is one of the better routes you'll see from Jalen Waddle. Look at how, I mean, this route is just fantastic, but then again, look at the throw. Really well done, exactly where Waddle needed it, so he can pick up more yards after the catch. So that's working together. As this game manager type, like, he did have these moments where it's like, okay, throw, he's doing really good. Something like this is another one. And honestly, the film study part might not do this justice, because it's not just like a few plays that I kind of have to show you here. I can't show you 20 in a row, but it was at times like 20 in a row. Maybe not that much, but at least like a good chunk of like, accurate passes. On this play, this is not just finding the right receiver and hitting him. This one was really good. You see who he wants to throw it to here. It's a third down and short. This will get a first down if they can hit him right here. But watch what happens. Look, Tua runs a play action, which helps get the linebackers covering the middle of the field a little bit out of position. There's not a ton of separation right here, but watch this throw. I mean, look at that. That's just a thing of beauty. I mean, he was, only 10 yards away from him, but he put it exactly on the money. He threw a dart right there. So the accuracy, very good for Tua. And so that's, again, I kind of feel about Tua how I've pretty much always felt about Tua in terms of his physical tools, but I do think he has improved this season. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Tua. I mean, again, my main point is that, there are flaws, but these were flaws last year too. And these are not flaws that typically go away. So that's kind of my thing. And maybe not everyone realized that Tua had these flaws until this year, but it was all over tape last year. So I feel the exact same about Tua as I've ever felt. Actually a little bit better, but I still don't think he has this incredibly high ceiling. But for Miami, I mean, you're stuck with him till next year, right? Because you don't have a great, you do have a great draft pick, but you traded it away. So you have, you do have the Niners pick that might still be good, but the reality is you're probably still stuck with Tua for another year after this, and that's not the worst thing in the world, I suppose. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I just don't think he'll be an elite quarterback. So Yeah, I mean, I guess not really so much for, I kind of set this up as I'm a Tua defender. I'm totally not, right? Like, definitely not a Tua defender, but I'm just a little confused as to the timing of the criticism. That's all. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Tua? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.